Welcome back. All right, so since there's so much time between the end of the Nashville-Montreal game that just finished and the start of Vancouver at home against Vegas, I'll review everything else that's happened so that this video goes up before a lot of people have gone to bed. And then the Vancouver-Vegas game will be the final video of the day. If any news of the day happens between now and then, or if there's some news of the day for me to report on, I'll include it with the review of that final game. But it just seems silly to wait that long to review everything when these boards are done. So Dallas and Minnesota, Ottinger versus Gustafsson in this one. I couldn't see the start of it due to the TNT, and I understand like the whole Ovechkin chase thing and all that, but still, like if you're in the States, you could watch it on Headline News. Here in Canada, I couldn't. Even Sportsnet Plus, they didn't have an alternate feed. They just I even went in. I went in on Sportsnet Plus, like Minnesota, Dallas, clicked on it, and it went straight to the Washington game. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not going to see it. So I had to listen on the radio. There's an early Dallas power play. Johnston has a wrister that's held. That power play's killed off. The Wild press 4 minutes in, and at 5:52 they score. Robertson with one. He kind of flings at the net. It goes through Gustafsson. Rantanen and Lindell with the assist on that. Stars press for another. Beck takes a puck up high. He exits for repair. Shots are 7-4 for Dallas at 9 minutes. Zuccarello has a prime chance that deflects out. Hintz took a puck to the face, but he's okay, so he's on cyborg watch. He may or may not be human. I'm not sure yet. At the very least, maybe half. The Wild press with 3 minutes left. Johansson has a one-timer. That's kicked aside. It's 1-0 Dallas after the first. Second period. Wild press 2 minutes in. Dumba has a screenshot that's held. There's some pushing there. The Stars press. They draw themselves a power play. That was killed off. And then the Wild get a power play. So Dallas kills that off as well. One shot on net. Stars press at 9.5 minutes. The shots are 8-4 Dallas at the half. The Wild go back to the power play. Goudreau's denied. Ottinger holds there. Power play's killed off. Stars press after the kill. Good flow. Not a lot of whistles. And with 40.3 seconds left, Minnesota goes to the power play. So it stays 1-0 Dallas as we go into the third with Minnesota on the power play, and Dallas finishes the kill. Trennan's denied. Ottinger holds. The Wild press at 3 minutes, and at 3:08, Boldy rifles one from the slot. Spurgeon and Chisholm with the assists, so that ties the game at 1. The Wild then look for the lead. The Stars get pinned down. Some momentum for the Wild, and at 5 minutes, Foligno buries his own rebound on a net drive. Rossi and Boldy with the assists. That gives Minnesota their first lead of the game at 2-1. Stars press to respond. There's some pressure by the Wild at 8 minutes. We get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off. And then at 13:05, not long after that penalty is ended, Harley buries a point shot to tie the game. Marchment and Duchesne with the assists, so it's 2-2. Wild press with 5.5 minutes left with 3:27 left. Dallas gets a power play. That's killed off. We're going to overtime. Early in the overtime, there's a power play for the Wild, and Jason Robertson didn't even try arguing it. Yeah, he was guilty. And at 58 seconds on the power play that followed, Minnesota scores. Rossi, a tic-tac-toe play. Zuccarello and Boldy with the assist. So Minnesota, a huge win for them, a 3-2 overtime win. They go to 42-29-7 with the point for the overtime loss. Dallas now 50-22-5. So they're within, I believe, 3 points of the Winnipeg Jets. Shots on net, 13-7 Minnesota in the first, 14-10 Dallas in the second, 17-4 Minnesota in the third period, and then the only shot in the overtime. That's all they needed. Final shots, 41-25 for the Wild. Power plays, Dallas 0-4, Minnesota 1-4. The hits, 27-14 for Minnesota. Ottinger saves 38 out of 41. Gustafsson saves 23 out of 25. All right, moving along. Columbus and Ottawa. Tarasov versus Ullmark. There's an early press by Ottawa, and they would score at 2:24. Gaudette threw Tarasov on a rush. Not a great goal. Chabot and Jensen with the assists. The shots are 4-0 Ottawa at 3.5 minutes, and at 4:26, Matt Paulo buries a rebound. It's his first National Hockey League goal. Giroux and Zetterlund with the assists, and that ends the night for Tarasov. In goes Elvis, who played last night against Toronto and took 5 goals against. Shots are 7-0 for the Sens at 6.5 minutes, and this felt like it might be a no-mercy game early. This was just awesome. For Ottawa, not great if you're Columbus. Olivier has a rush chance that's held. The Ottawa Senators press at 9.5 minutes. Stutzla to Giroux, there's a near miss. Columbus played better in the second half of the period, but it's still 2-0 Ottawa after 1. Second period, Zetterlund's denied on a turnover. Shots are 3 apiece at 3.5 minutes. Columbus presses at 4 minutes. Sens have a 2-on-1 that misfires. Matejchuk has a wrister that's held as Columbus presses. Ottawa draws a power play. That becomes 23 seconds of 5-on-3. Columbus kills all of that off. Shots are 8 apiece with 5 minutes left. Sillinger has a net drive chance that's saved. Things get pushy and punchy behind the Senators' net, so the Sens come out with a power play with 2:57 left. Sanderson has a one-timer that's saved. That power play's killed off. It's still 2-0 for Ottawa after 2. Third period, Provorov has a net drive this block. The Sens press at 2.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Voronkov. Puck's cleared out. Fantilli fires one wide on a net drive, and then at 4:32, Perron makes it 3-0 for Ottawa. Batherson and Chabot with the assists, and then the Sens look for another. Press by Ottawa at 7.5 minutes. The shots are 5 before Columbus at 8 minutes. Doesn't really tell you the story. Sens press at the half. There wasn't really a path to that Ottawa net. Marchenko tips one wide as Columbus gets some pressure. Columbus got some pressure after pulling the goaltender as well. Danforth has a screenshot that saved, and then at 19:19, Pinto hits the empty net. The assist to Jake Sanderson. The final score in this one, 4-0. So the Tony the Tiger Magnets on the board for this one. The Ottawa Senators go to a 42-29-6 record with this win. With the loss, Columbus 34-33-9 on the season. Their playoff hopes fading fast. Shots on net, 14-9 Ottawa in the first, 10-9 Columbus in the second, 11-7 Columbus in the third. Final shots 30 apiece in this one. Power plays, Columbus didn't have any. Ottawa was 0 for 3. The hits, 27-24 for Columbus. Tarasov saved 4 out of 6. Merzlikin saves 22 out of 23. Ullmark, 30 saves for the shutout. All right, next up, Florida and Detroit. Vanacek versus Talbot. Shots are 2 apiece at 3.5 minutes. Good forechecking by the Panthers. A net feed to Rodriguez. Near miss there. The Panthers press at 5.5 minutes. Greer has a net feed that's picked off. Shots are 5-3 Panthers at 9 minutes. I thought they played well. But we've seen that lately with Florida where structurally they're playing well. They're just not getting the puck into the net. DeBrincat to Kane. There's a near miss at the Florida net. The Wings press with 7 minutes left. More strong Panthers forechecking. Can't say it enough. Their forechecking has been excellent throughout the season. It was today too. Panthers press are kept to the outside with 3:58 left. Detroit gets a power play. There's a shorthanded rush by Luostarinen, which ends up bringing that to an end. One shot on net for Detroit. The Wings press in the final minute. And while it was a pretty evenly played first period overall, there's no score as well. Second period, the Wings press at 1.5. Detroit draws a power play. DeBrincat fires one wide from in close. Clearly remembered because he takes basically the same shot the next time he gets the chance. This one goes in the net. It's a power play marker from Raymond and Kane at 4:37. Panthers press to respond. Wings press at 8.5 minutes. Detroit goes back to the power play. And shortly after it comes to an end at 11:23, Compher wires one far side on a rush to make it 2-0. The assist to Casper and Petrie. Panthers then go on a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 8-4 Detroit with 5 minutes left. Wings press with 4 minutes left. Luostarinen has a net drive that's saved. It's 2-0 Detroit after 2. Third period. Power play for Detroit. A net feed to DeBrincat gets picked off. Power play's killed off. The Panthers rush when it's done. Florida presses at 5.5 minutes. The shots are 4-1 Florida, 6.5 minutes in. DeBrincat has a rush chance that saved. Compher's denied. The Panthers rush after that. The Wings then get some pressure at the half. Smith to Mott. There's a near miss there at the Florida net. All punching with 6:52 left. Detroit comes out of that with a power play. That's killed off. Goalie pull happens with 2:35 left with 1:40 left. The Panthers call a timeout, and then they ice the puck with 1:20 left. So you got to get the goalie out again. But at 19 minutes and 20 seconds, they get a goal anyways. Samoskevich from Verhaeghe and Lundell. So that makes it 2-1. That was past a screen from the left circle, and then Lundell is denied a buzzer beater. So I believe there was a post as well for Detroit. I want to say by Kane, but either way, Detroit, they get away with one a little bit here. They went 2-1. They go to 36-33-7. This is that whole strength of schedule thing. If you beat the good teams, strength of schedule's fine. Florida 44-29-4, and all of a sudden they have to worry about Ottawa. Ottawa could very well pass them and get that third spot. Shots on net favored Florida through the first and third, not in the second. The shots were 10-7 Florida in the first, 9-8 Detroit in the second, 15-8 Florida in the third. Final shots 33-24 for the Panthers. Power plays 0 for 1 for Florida, 1 for 5 for Detroit. Hits 42-19 Florida. Vanacek saves 22 out of 24. Talbot saves 32 out of 33. All right, next up. Boston and Buffalo. Korpisalo versus Luukkonen. This is the battle for the basement of the Atlantic. Lone shot on net belongs to Boston at 3 minutes. Geekie has a rush chance that's saved, and then Lindholm deposits a rebound in close to open the scoring for Boston. Pasternak and Jokiharju with the assists at 3:37. Power play for Buffalo, a net feed to Zucker. Near miss there. That power play's killed off. Shots are 4-2 Boston at 9 minutes. The teams trade rushes. Wotherspoon has a wrister that's caught and held, and then Boston would score again. At 14:27, Geeky gets another one. He buries this one on a net drive. Pasternak with the assist, and so we have a 2-0 lead for Boston. Power play for Buffalo, that's killed off. Things get pushed in a hole by Korpisalo. The Sabres press to close it out, but they're down 2-0 after one. Second period, Sabres press at 3 minutes. Shots are 2-1 in favor of Buffalo, 3.5 minutes in. Quinn has a one-timer that deflects out. Wotherspoon has a slapper that's held. And then at 7:33, on excellent work by Zach Benson, Thompson ends up getting the goal here. Benson with the assist as well as Byram. So all of a sudden, we have a 2-1 game at 7:33. Sabres then look to tie it. Byram fires one wide on a rush, and then they do tie it. Tuck deflects one in off of himself. It's deflected in off of him. Better way of putting it. Tuck from DAL-MIN and Peterka at 10:47. Sabres then look for the lead, but we get a power play for Boston, and they score on it. Former Buffalo Sabre Casey Mittelstadt gets the goal, bearing a rebound from in close. Pasternak and Lowry with the assists at 16:38. So Boston has the lead back for about that long. At 18:30, DAL-MIN wires one from the slot to tie the game at 3. Tuck and Krebs with the assists. So we have a 3-3 tie after 2. Third period, early press by Buffalo, and at 1:59, Zucker with one that goes off Korpisalo's glove, skies over him, and then drops back into the net. Byram and Krebs with the assists. The shots are 3-2 Buffalo at 4.5 minutes. Zucker's denied on a breakaway, and then there's another breakaway because Boston's defense is without Lindholm, and it's without McAvoy, and it shows. Thompson scores on the next breakaway from Kulik and Power at 6:50. The goalie pull would happen with 3 minutes left. And at 19:13, Tage Thompson gets the hat-trick goal into the empty net. The final score in this one, 6-3 for Buffalo. They're just rolling. 34-36-6 record for Buffalo. Boston 31-38-9 with the loss. Shots on net, 11-8 Buffalo in the first, 13-7 Buffalo in the second, 13-5 Buffalo in the third. The final shot's 37-20 for Buffalo. Power plays, Boston 1 for 1, Buffalo 0 for 2. The hits, 23-13 for Boston. Korpisalo, 31 saves on 36 shots. Luukkonen, 17 saves on 20 shots. Let's go to board number 2. Pittsburgh and Chicago next up. So Nedeljkovic versus Knight. Early press by Chicago. Shots are 2-1 Pittsburgh at 3 minutes. Hawksers getting zone time. Chicago wasn't getting shots, though. Chicago presses at 7 minutes. Malkin has a net feed. That's picked off. Moore has a rush chance that's blocked out. More pressure by the Penguins at 9.5 minutes. More Penguins pressure with 3 minutes left. Rust fires one wide from a sharp angle. It ends up being scoreless after the first. There wasn't really a whole lot for me to put on the board. Second period. Shea to Achari near miss. Letang then prevented what I thought was going to be a Hawks goal. If he doesn't knock that out of midair, I think that puck... It was a dangerous one. So Letang, good move there to knock it out of the air. The shots are 3-0 Chicago at 4 minutes. Lizotte then has a rush chance. That's saved. Hawks press at 6.5 minutes. There's press by the Penguins at 8.5 minutes. Shots are 6-4 Chicago halfway through the period. The Hawks press with 3.5 minutes left. With 2:59 left, the Penguins get a power play, which leads to Frank Nazar getting a shorthanded goal. Teravainen with the assist at 18:55. I'm telling you, Frank Nazar is a star in the making. The Hawks then finish the kill with 46 seconds left. The Penguins get another power play. So it's 1-0 Chicago after 2. Power play rolls over into the third. It does not last. It becomes 9 seconds of 4-on-4. And Frank Nazar had a rush that drew that penalty to make it 4-on-4. Then it's the Hawks power play after that, so the Penguins kill that off. Penguins forechecking leads to a bit of a press, but they're not getting to the net. Shots are 3-0 Chicago at 4.5 minutes. The Hawks press at 5 minutes. Koivunen then has a net drive chance. That's held. Donato crashes into the boards on a breakaway. That was kind of scary. Press by the Penguins at 9 minutes. And then at 9:40, Mikheyev buries one on a breakaway. That's his 20th, no, I think this was his 20th. This was his 19th. Bedard and Rinzel with the assist. That is the first NHL point for Rinzel, and Mikheyev scored that one on a breakaway. Suppressed by the Penguins with 7.5 minutes left. Eventually, Pittsburgh gets a power play, and they score on it. At 14:35, Raquel buries a cross-ice pass. Rust and Koivunen with the assists, so Pittsburgh's on the board. It's 2-1. Hawks press with 4.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 1 minute and 50 seconds left, and at 19:04, Mikheyev hits the empty net. The assist to Foligno and Veleno. 3-1 win for Chicago. They go to 22, 45, and 10 with the win. Pittsburgh 31, 35, and 12 with the loss. Shots on net, 8-6 Pittsburgh in the first, 11-9 Pittsburgh in the second, 16-10 Chicago in the third. Final shots, 31-29 for Chicago. Power plays, Pittsburgh 1 for 3, Chicago 0 for 1. The hits, 27-19 Pittsburgh. Nedeljkovic saves 28 out of 30. Knight saves 28 out of 29. Much better numbers from Spencer Knight this evening than what we've seen from him recently. All right, last game for now, and again, I'll be reviewing the Vegas-Vancouver game later. Dobeš versus Saros, as it was Montreal in Nashville. Early press by Nashville, and at 4:19 on a turnover, Stamkos buries one. Forsberg with the assist. Shots to 3-1 for the Preds at 5 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. We had a fight between Pezzetta and Englund. We get a power play for Montreal. The Predators score. It's challenged for goalie interference, and it comes off the board, no goal. Leroux then has a net drive that saved. Shots are 6-3 Nashville with 5 minutes left. The Habs press with 4.5 minutes left with 3:39 left. Nashville gets a power play. There's a shorthanded rush by Evans during that kills some time. That power play is killed off. Bunting with a near miss in the closing seconds. Nashville's up 1-0 after 1. Second period, 1 minute and 40 seconds in. Cole Caulfield ties this. The assist to Nick Suzuki, who just keeps putting up so many points. There's a post for Kapanen. The Habs press. The shots are 2-0 Montreal at 3.5 minutes. Things are pushy on a hold by Dobeš. The Habs press at 5 minutes, and at 5:47, Laine goes far corner from the left circle. Hudson and Newhook with the assist. So Lane Hudson with that, I believe he ties. I have a Chris Chelios jersey on for anybody who's curious, and that's why I picked Chelios. I was like, Chicago won, I'll wear a Chicago jersey, and hey, I've got one with Chelios. I keep thinking there's a number on the, there isn't a number on the sleeve. As many times as I look, it's still not going to be there, but, you know, Montreal, Chelios was there as a rookie. I thought, it works. So, yeah, Laine from Hudson and Newhook. Power play for Nashville, that's killed off. Shots are 8-6 Nashville with 8 minutes left. The Preds have a 3-on-1 that misfires. With 1 minute and 50 seconds left, Nashville gets a power play. That runs to the end of the second period. It's unsuccessful. It's still 2-1 Montreal. Obviously, there's just 10 seconds left in the power play to start the third, so the Habs finish the kill. Shots are 3-2 Nashville at 5 minutes. Nashville presses at 5.5 minutes. Preds go back to the power play. That was killed off. The Habs clear the puck. Forsberg with a net drive, that's blocked. Shots are 10-4 Nashville with 7 minutes left. Dobeš was very busy in this one. Post for Suzuki, the Preds rush after that. Gouli has a screenshot that saved. There's a press by Nashville with 2.5 minutes left. Goalie pull happens. Then there's an empty net miss by Armia, and Dobeš just made great saves to hold on and win this one. It's a 2-1 win for Montreal. The chess magnets on the board for the second time today. 38, 30, and 9 is the record for Montreal at this point. The record for Nashville, 27, 42, and 8. So Montreal really looks like they're going to make the playoffs now. I think we can say that. Can't we? Can I not say that? Well, I've said it. Then we look at the shots. It's Nashville the whole way in this. 8-4 in the first, 15-8 in the second, 14-5 in the third. Final shots 37-17 in favor of Nashville. Power plays, Montreal 0 for 1, Nashville 0 for 4. The hits 19-16 Nashville. Dobeš saves 36 out of 37, the best game he's had in a while. Saros 15 saves on 17 shots at the other end. So there you go. You guys are caught up on the rest of the games. The first game this morning, of course, I already reviewed because that was a big historic moment, so I made sure that I got that review done, and I'll review Vancouver, Vegas later. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon. Oh, and if you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. I cannot forget to say that, because then, you know, YouTube's going to be like, you didn't tell people to like and subscribe. Now your channel just doesn't get subscribers. That's how that works, right? All right. Thank you guys for your support. I will talk to you again soon.